Have you ever wondered how to deschool your child or what you might do during a time of deschooling? In this video, I'll share 10 things that you can do with your child during deschooling and also what you as a parent should be doing during your deschooling time. So just as a quick reminder, deschooling is the process of transition from a public school or a traditional school to a homeschool environment. During deschooling, your time is going to be very unstructured. You're not doing anything that looks like traditional school. So no textbooks, no workbooks, no worksheets, no flashcards, no desks, no tests, and no lectures. During this time, you are going to be encouraging your child to explore and discover things that they're interested on their own. And you as a parent are going to be spending some time preparing for homeschooling and observing your child. We'll go into those specifics in just a minute. You want to plan to deschool your child for 1 month for every year that they spent in traditional school as a rule of thumb. That might be a little bit different for some families depending on your child's age, how many years they spent in a traditional school, and their experience there. But in general, you can start with 1 month for every year that they spent in traditional school. So during your time deschooling, this can be really scary. Parents often worry that their child will fall behind during deschooling, or they may be concerned that their child is already behind and feel that they chose homeschooling to help their child catch up, not to take a huge break from school. It is so important to remember that your child will still be learning even while you're deschooling. You can be intentional and encourage your child to explore their interests during this time. It's also important to remember that the observations that you are making about your child's interests and their learning style during the deschooling process will be so valuable to you as you start formal homeschooling. Really understanding your child's learning style and being able to teach to your child's interests will allow you to homeschool faster and easier once you do start up again. And your child will also feel more relaxed with homeschooling and will be more willing and able to learn as they relax in their home environment. So during deschooling, you're not going to be doing any of those school-related things, no textbooks, no worksheets, no tests. So what are you going to do? Well, the most important thing is to focus on your relationship with your child. Enjoy spending a lot of time together and enjoy learning together. Invite your child to explore things that they're interested in and learn about those new topics in as many creative ways as you can. So here are some things that you can do together. First, you can read a lot of books together. This is one of the best ways to get started with homeschooling, and it's a fabulous way to build your relationship with your child while learning something new. So visit the library together, check out a whole stack of books about whatever topic your child is interested in learning about, and read them all together. You might notice that your kids ask lots of questions, and as they're asking questions, you might think about those questions as potential topics that you could study together. Even if your child is reading independently or learning to read, it's okay to read the books to your child. Hearing books read aloud can be really beneficial even for experienced readers. Your goal here is to enjoy learning together, not to teach your child to read. If the book is at all frustrating for your child, definitely read it out loud to them. Second, you can do a project together. How can you make learning hands-on and fun for your child? Can you build something together, make a model, cook a recipe? Brainstorm with your child to think of some activities that might be fun to try together. You might also think about any upcoming holidays that are happening and if there's a fun way that you could celebrate those together. Third, explore some technology. What resources are available to you for learning with technology? Can you find some fun apps or interesting educational shows that your kids might enjoy? Technology should never take the place of your homeschool lessons, but it can be really helpful to have a few resources available to supplement what your kids are learning. And during your deschooling period, this can be a fun time to explore and find some of those resources. Fourth, you can take trips and have some fun experiences. Can you go to a museum, visit somebody who's working in an interesting career field and see what they do for the day? Travel to a historical site or a landmark near you? These kinds of trips are a great way to spark interest in things that your child might want to learn more about. And one of the best things about homeschooling is the freedom to learn through specific experiences like these. So now is a great time to start with that. Fifth, you can volunteer. How can you and your child work together to give back to those in need? There are many volunteer organizations that are flexible and are willing to work with kids. So you can look for a way that you can serve in your community. And when you serve alongside your child, this can be a really great bonding experience in addition to a learning opportunity. Sixth, use your deschooling time to get active. Can you learn how to play a new sport, take swimming lessons, get involved in a team or a club, go play a round of miniature golf, take some hikes, or start jogging? Find a way that you and your child can get and stay active during their deschooling time. This is a really great opportunity for your child to explore and find new ways of getting active that they really enjoy. Seventh, spend some time outside. How can you use this time of deschooling to help your child enjoy nature and appreciate God's creation? Can you take a nature walk, or maybe learn how to identify leaves or flowers or bird species or bird calls? Explore the changing seasons? Or what about just reading some books together outside? All of these are great options. Eighth, you could learn a new skill. Is there a craft or a hobby or an activity that you just haven't had time to try with your child? Can you learn how to knit and make scarves for the homeless? Learn how to change the oil in your car? Teach your child how to cook? Watch YouTube videos and learn a new kind of dance? Do an art project together? What life skills do you wish that you had or that your child had? Or what new hobbies can be fun? There's no time like the present to explore something new. Ninth, try some educational toys. Can you sign up for an educational subscription box and explore it together? Or what about any educational toys that you have that have been sitting on your shelf? This might be the perfect opportunity to learn coding, explore the globe, try a new art set, or play pretend together. And then finally, play a game. Games are a great way to practice math skills while having a lot of fun. Can you teach your child a new strategy game to help them think logically? What games did you love when you were your child's age that you can teach them? So we've talked a lot about what kids should be doing during the deschooling time, but what about parents? Well, as a parent, the most important thing that you can do while deschooling is to spend time with your child. Really concentrate on investing in your relationship with them. But there are a few other things that you can do that will help prepare you for success as a homeschool teacher. First, you should observe your child. It's really important that you spend the time when you're deschooling observing. You're probably already the person who knows your child better than anyone else, and this is one of your biggest advantages as their parent and homeschool teacher. You are an expert in your child, even more than their school teacher was. And your job is to learn everything that you can about the answers to two key questions. First, what is your child interested in and what do they love learning about? You can use these topics as ins to help teach them other things. Your kids will learn faster and better when they're learning about topics that they're interested in, so it makes sense to follow their lead as much as you can. And then second, you want to observe, how does your child learn best? Are they a visual learner or auditory or kinesthetic? Do they love to read? Do they remember everything they hear? Or do they learn best with hands-on activities? Do they remember things pretty quickly, or do they need lots of review? This information will be so helpful when you're choosing a homeschool curriculum, and it will also help when you're deciding how to teach your lessons. Then, secondly, you want to do some research during the deschooling period. This is a really helpful time to think and plan how you would like your homeschool to look. What kinds of homeschooling do you like? What kinds of curricula seem like they'll work well with the way that your child learns? This is a great time to do some research. And then finally, you want to discuss that with your child. So as you're researching, it can be really helpful to discuss ideas and plans with your child. Older children especially will benefit if they can have some input into your homeschool plans. Ask your kids what they would like their homeschool to be like and take their suggestions into account as much as you can. What would they like to study? What would they like for their schedule to look like? You might even go through some curriculum choices together and get your child's input. The more that you can give your child choices about the specifics of their homeschool experience, the more likely they will be to go along with your decisions in the areas where it really matters to you. I know that deschooling can be a really scary process. We live in a culture that emphasizes academic achievement and grade level standards, and that can be really scary for any homeschooler, and especially one who is choosing to do a deschooling period. But it helps to keep this in perspective. Remember that you are raising a child. If it is your goal for the child to grow up and become an adult who loves learning and continues learning long after school is done, it really won't matter whether they covered subtraction in January or in April, but it will absolutely matter whether they enjoyed their school experience. And your relationship with this child matters more than anything else. It helps to think of deschooling as a temporary investment in that relationship, in having the right priorities, and in teaching your child how to grow up to become an adult who loves learning. And really, is there a curriculum more important than that? So hopefully this was helpful. Please share your thoughts about deschooling in the comments.